One of the reasons of this video was because I wanted to show you this new tool in Adobe Illustrator, so I think it's pretty dope. Right here, I'm taking this photo from Superline Wholesale. They have a nice little mock-up right here, so I just want to give this a test. I'm going to click on this right here, click on the image. I'm going to click on Object, come down to Mockup, click Make, and let it do its thing. So once it's done, as you can see, I'm moving the design around and it's kind of warping around. How to make a custom mockup for your clothing brand. Of course, there's several ways to do this, so we're gonna hop into the several ways to do it. One of the best ways is going to be just to take a photo, but let's say you have a custom blank and you want to turn that into a digital mockup. So I just found out about this right here with Adobe Illustrator. The beta version, they have something new, which is for mockups. So right here, I have my actual design, and this right here, I just have a photo of a random piece of garment right here. It's not an actual mockup file. Like sometimes we get those mockup files with the smart objects, or we actually use something like Mock-it to actually do it. So what I do is click on my design and I click on the image and I go over here, Object, Mockup, Make. Now here, as you can see right here, it's not going to be perfect, but it actually warps to the actual garment itself. So if I move it around, it's actually kind of identifying with like where all the folds and whatnot are of the actual garment. So let me go ahead and move it over here. And as you can see right here, it's not perfect, but it does like kind of warp the image and whatnot. So it's not a perfect way to do it, but it does work with a variety of different things. So the Adobe Illustrator one is not perfect, but it is pretty cool for you to play around with. You probably want to play with the actual opacity of the image and whatnot, so you can get a more see-through image. Right here, a lot of people ask like, where do we get the mockups? Also real quick, it's no secret that I made a lot of sales selling on Etsy, whether it was when we were fulfilling ourselves or even using print on demand. Not only have I made well over 7 figures on this platform, but I've also helped students reach over 6 figures and even 7 figures themselves. If you want to work with my team to help you scale your Etsy business, feel free to click the Marketplace Mastermind link down below, and we'll see if we're a good fit for you and even if you're a good fit for us. So go ahead and click that link down below, and I look forward to being able to help you out real soon. Now back to your video. For something like this, as you can see, we have the custom tag right here, and you can also get this custom tag. Sometimes we actually download mockup files and then we still customize on top of it to make it similar to our own. So for example, when you use a website like Creative Market, they have tons and tons of mockups on here. I use this one a lot, Storefront. There's just tons of different ones. I actually just used this one not too long ago to send to my manufacturer, which is a coach's jacket, because I couldn't really find it on any other platform. You know, I've really found a lot of different types of custom mockups on here. So here's another one right here, which is called Mock-it. You can actually customize the mockup directly on their website. But so if you want something a little bit more custom like this, you want to add this or do this, you would have to download the file to Photoshop. You would download the file to Photoshop and still customize it yourself. So here you have the blank one. This is actually a next level mockup from Creative Market. So here you have all the default colors that the actual garment comes with. You can change it, but if you have a custom color, you can still change it as well right here. And then if you wanted to add your own custom tag, you can double click on this layer right here and you could add it right here. So you would just replace the one that they already had. Let's see, we can make it black. We can lower the opacity a little bit, hit save. This is a smart object file. All right, so you can see the tag right here. It's not perfect, but you can lower the opacity here still a little bit more, or you could just resize the file that's in the smart object until it is of your liking. The smart object helps out a little bit more because it makes it look a little bit more realistic, because the smart object kind of like wraps around the wrinkles and things like that of that nature. This mockup's a little bit more flat, so you won't really see that. However, instead of you actually adding it on the little smart object, you could just add it on top of the actual file itself and cut it out. So you would do this, and then you would take the pen tool and cut off like all the excess that you don't like. Although if you did it on a smart object, it already does it for you. So, but once you have the template, you're pretty much good to go, especially if it is for your brand. So you could do the same thing with the design file. You come on over here. As you can see, you have the actual file in the smart object layer. You're gonna double click it, and you're just gonna replace it. So as you can see, when I put in a smart object, it's not as shiny and bright as your default image. If I would have pasted the actual image on top of it, as you can see, it's a totally different color. It kind of tones it down. That way it gives it a more realistic effect. And as you can see, if I move it over to the wrinkles, it's kind of hard to see, but like right here, you can see like it being visible. It gives you the effect of it being a little bit more realistic. But if you're in a hurry, you could always just paste it directly on top. And then it's not too bad of a look itself neither. So that's just something to keep in mind. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because this right here is going to be a custom built mockup file for your actual brand. And that way it's not unique and just something that you download on every single website. So if you wanted a custom tag, it also, you can kind of just create it yourself. So here I'm using a toolbox. So here all I did was just kind of make like a white little box, and then you could add your logo right there. So that's how you kind of make one for your own brand. And that file actually came from this right here. So the importance of me showing you this is because sometimes you will have garments where you need to create your own type of mockup. As you can see, this right here is a hoodie that came from a custom manufacturer of ours. It's not a blank that you purchase from Alpha Broder or SS Activewear. It's not a Gildan, it's not a Hanes. And it has that raw hem bottom without the actual waistband right here. So what we did was downloaded a mockup from a website like Mock-it, and then we customized it. So let me go ahead and show you that file. So as you can see, we had to create this one right here. So this right here was the original file. All we did was take a pen tool and then we cut this part right here off of the actual image. There was also a color that we purchased from our manufacturer, and some of these mockup websites didn't have the actual color. So what we did was just click Control L and we brought up our levels, and then we kind of brought it up to like the faded color, which is similar to the color that we purchased from our manufacturer. So that's one of the important reasons why you need to download your own mockups, and so that you're able to customize it. Now, once we added our logo on top of it, as you can see, it has the actual design not look too realistic, right? So one thing that we did have to do was Control C, was still copy the actual garment over, and then we paste it on top, and then we put the layer style on multiply. And as you can see, it's too faded, right? We can't see the print. So what we did was hit Control L again, and we just only wanted a few of the actual effects on top of the actual design itself. So here we have it, and then we just lower the opacity a little bit. And then so now, as you can see, now we have the actual imprint of the actual garment, so it looks a little bit more realistic. So that right there is pretty much good to go, and that's how we customize it ourselves. But if you don't have that type of skill just yet, and you still want some other mockups, all you have to do is go on here, and then you can upload the file on here as well, and then you can still have the same design on the actual mockup. As you can see, this is getting rid of the black for me because they know the garment is black. It look a little bit more realistic. But let's go ahead and change the color. So if you don't want to customize, or you can't customize it yourself on Photoshop or something, you can do it directly on here. This is mock-it, and you can just pretty much download it from here. So that is an option. But if you wanted something that's a little bit more custom like this, it just has some small differences, you probably want to download the file and then actually customize it yourself on Photoshop. So I figured I'd make this video just because we keep getting that question asked, like, where do you get your mockups? It's a mix of actually downloading it and kind of playing around and making it ourselves, or sometimes we just use the website directly, and sometimes we may just take a picture of the actual garment. Sometimes it's not an actual mockup. But one of the reasons of this video was because I wanted to show you this new tool in Adobe Illustrator. So I think it's pretty dope. Right here, I'm taking this photo from Superline Wholesale. They have a nice little mockup right here, so I just want to give this a test. I'm going to click on this right here, click on the image. I'm going to click on Object, come down to Mockup, click Make, and let it do its thing. So once it's done, as you can see, I'm moving the design around, and it's kind of warping around her body. I don't know if you can see it. This probably works better with different types of images, but if you lower the opacity and whatnot, this could actually work. It's pretty interesting. As you can see right here, pay attention to where I'm moving it around the sleeve. You can kind of see it warp around. So with a few tweaks and whatnot, you can find your perfect mockup from a variety of those different methods. If you feel like these quick to the point type videos are really helpful, feel free to comment down below, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. My name is Rich. Peace.